For the last few years, the Dragy app and GPS has become sort of our standard for straight line metrics out there, whether it be 0 to 60, quarter mile, half mile, 60 to 130, it's awesomely accurate. So accurate that most car enthusiasts don't even care if you have an actual slip from the drag strip, as long as you have a valid Dragy run. Now, Dragy's always been a great measurement of fast cars, but what about measuring fast drivers? Well, Dragy's now in the lap timing business with the new Dragy Lap app, as well as an updated GPS hardware unit. I'm going to tell you all about it, as well as how it stacks up against the most popular and expensive lap timer out there. Just keep watching. Now, before we get started, I want to tell you that Dragy did provide me their latest GPS hardware unit to review for this video, but all of my statements and opinions are my own. Besides, I already love Dragy. I have the first version of the GPS unit and used it for all those straight line metrics. I think it's pretty awesome. Now, this review came at a perfect time because I had already planned to do a big track day with the Cadillac V Club in my Cadillac CT4-V Sport. We're going down to Buttonwillow Raceway in Bakersfield, and I already use a lap timer. I have the Garmin Catalyst, which is one of the most popular lap timers, but it's pretty damn expensive at about $1,000. But it does do some things that very few lap timers can do. So how is the Dragy Lap going to stack up against that at its low price of less than $200? Well, we'll get to that, but before we do, I'm going to talk about the new updates to the hardware, the overall use of the Dragy Lap app, and how to set it up before you go to the track, and then we'll take a look at how it compares. When you buy the new Dragy GPS unit, you're not really going to notice a difference. It looks like the same piece of hardware. The only difference is on the back it says DRG70. That's how you know you got the new one. What improvements are there? Well, most notably, it's going to have a better GPS quality as well as a better battery life. They've incorporated some other things. It's basically some upgrades in the chips inside. But as far as the user is concerned, no difference here. The big change is the new app, the Dragy Lap app. By the way, if you're wondering, you don't need to buy the new one to use the Dragy Lap app, but the new hardware, of course, is gonna work better. Mounting the Dragy in your car is just like it's always been. It's got a magnetic base. So on my Cadillac CTS, this metal grille on the dash just under the windshield is perfect. It gives it a great view of the sky. Or you could mount it on the sunroof. There's some metal there, but if your car doesn't have any metal that has a good view of the sky, then you can use the little metal plates that come with the kit. They have adhesive backing so you can make a magnetic base. Or there are accessories you can buy, like I saw that they sell a magnetic plate that has suction cups, so you just stick it to your windshield. Or of course, just do the good old double-sided tape. Just like using the Dragy Straight Line app, it's pretty easy. You just go to the app and click connect. It's gonna find the nearest Dragy unit. And once it's connected, it needs to collect satellites for the most accuracy. Immediately, it shows you a map of your location as well as all the tracks nearby. And you can click on the tracks icon and scroll through all the tracks within a certain distance. You can even make your own track, which I'll show you how we're going to do that. But first, let's set up a profile so that we have all the information in there, including all the cars in our garage. This information is good when you want to upload your results to the leaderboard. I've already made my profile, added my location, and in the garage section, I've added all the cars that I might take to the track. You want to set up your units if you're in the US or in Europe, and under settings there's really not much there except information about your account. Now, I don't want to see you messing with this thing while you're driving on the track. Don't do anything but drive. So I highly suggest you just practice with it at home. In fact, I set up a little track in my neighborhood. You can make your own custom track. Just hit add track, set a start finish line on the map, go drive it, and it makes a circuit. After that, you can run laps and it will time it and show you the functionality of the system. So what do you say we go out on my neighborhood track and I'll show you how it works. All right, so if you're ready to practice, we're just gonna pick a track. Of course, I'm gonna pick the Hood 2. That's what I named my track. Hood 1, I couldn't delete, so that's something I need to work on. I can't find a way to delete it. But then you just hit the go button, folks. So now it goes into horizontal mode and it says go. That means just go drive. It's gonna have to do a full lap before it starts timing. It's pretty common with lap timers, but before you go, don't forget to hit the video button. And there you can see the back camera. I'll go ahead and mount it up here. Get it level, and with iPhones, with the A12 processor or later, you can also have the front camera going. And there it goes. So now we've got both cameras running, and we're gonna get both front and back footage. Real quick, let me jump in. See that little red button there? You gotta hit that to record video. I forgot to record. Even right now, I forgot to record that because you gotta hit it. But I'm so used to some other apps I've used that automatically record when the clock starts going. If you've selected a camera, Dragy, yes, it should automatically record when the lap timing starts. So until they change that, be sure to hit that red button. I've lost out on quite a few recordings already. All right, we're approaching our little start-finish line. Imagine we've already done our intro lap and it's timing for us, recording video. We've got our speed indicated there. We can actually change the resolution of the video there if we like, and it tells us that we're on lap 1. All right, taking the last turn into the back, or the front straight. And we're approaching that start-finish line. Let's see what the Dragy does. Boom, it logs our lap, 1 minute 18.1, and it starts the timer for the next one, showing us the last lap and what our best lap was for this session, obviously the same time. Now you see our little red indicator here. That red indication tells us how much slower we're going than our best lap of the session. And it gets smaller when we're not that far off our time. And it tells us how far we are off that time. So I'm 0.4 seconds slower than I was on my last lap. So let's pick up the pace. That red item there is supposed to encourage you to go faster. Now it's turned green, telling me that I'm doing better than my best lap of the session. And the green shows up more and more to show me that I'm doing really good. And already I just gained 6 seconds because I didn't use the stop sign like I did before. Around the last turn into the front straight, and we're gonna pass the start finish line and see what happens. Boom, new best lap time, 1 minute, 10 seconds flat. And then let's say we're done. We're gonna hide the video, hit the X, confirm exit. And now we get to review our footage, but I'm gonna share with you all those details at the track, so let's head to Button Willow Raceway. I swapped cars and the next day headed down to Bakersfield, California, where the Cadillac V Club was having a track day in conjunction with Hooked on Driving at Button Willow Raceway. We had a blast out there. I had my Garmin Catalyst, of course, for lap timing, but now that I had the Dragy, I couldn't wait to try them side by side. So in my second session, I had both of them running at the same time, but as I mentioned before, I totally forgot to hit record. However, it still recorded all of my lap session data. When I got back to parking, I was able to compare the lap times of both products, and the results are pretty interesting, but I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. After that session, I decided to share the fun and gave the GPS unit over to my buddy Rich. He didn't have a lap timer with him, so all he had to do was quickly download the app and make his profile, and he was set. Look at this awesome footage he recorded. You see, you just got to hit that record button. After your session's over, Dragy allows you to export either a video of just one lap or your whole session with these really cool overlays. It's going to show you exactly what you would have seen on your phone while driving, the lap timer plus the fast slow indicator, and the weather outside. There's a top view map and a little 3D map. Important info like your G-forces and your speed, and it even estimates where your braking started based on your deceleration. And in the exported video, you get this list of all your lap times. After Rich was done, he rolled in, he had a chance to see what the app was doing.
I'm not even sure how this whole thing works, but I see my lap times, 209, 210 again. This is amazing, all the data it gives you. 2.6, 2.7 off my fastest lap, and the checkered flag was flying. I was like, oh.
From his history homepage for the session, he could see the overview and then see this really cool 3D imagery of his car on the track, and it really seemed to show exactly where he was located on the right side or left side of the track, showing where his minimum speeds were, his peak speeds on a section before he hit the brakes. And I just hadn't seen this anywhere before on a lap meter. The Garmin Catalyst doesn't do this. For any session, you can quickly scroll through all the important parameters like speed, your longitudinal and lateral acceleration, your G-plot, your calculated braking points. They have this overview map where you can show your speed and acceleration throughout the course, and a list of all your laps, including an optimum lap calculation, which tells you about how fast you could have gone if you had done all the best turns in this session. Then, if you really want to get detailed, you can scroll along and compare 2 laps within the same session. Here you see a yellow and a blue, that's 2 different laps, and you can follow along on the track as well as in video. This really helps you see where you're positioned on the track and maybe where your braking zones were and your acceleration zones. Unfortunately, you can't just hit play and watch it play through. You gotta scroll through horizontally with your finger. And if you want to change up what the line graphs are showing, you have options to change it to different combinations. All of this info will be saved in your history so you can go back and review the data and the videos later, and even upload the data to the leaderboard. A feature embedded is that they do have an option to export the entire Dragy file with or without video, and this would be really great if you could just share it with friends so they could analyze your data, or eventually in some part the app has a side-by-side comparison. But I had a hard time getting the file sent to me and opening it on my app. It seemed to work best maybe if you used AirDrop or something, and even then it was Rich's data showing up under my account on my phone. The other file format you can export as is VBO, which can be opened in the Circuit Tools program for further analysis on your desktop computer. All right, folks, so now the question you've all been waiting for: how does the $150 or so Dragy Lap hardware and app compare to the $1,000 Garmin Catalyst when it comes to lap timing? Well, the results are surprising. Check this out. That's right, every single lap was exactly the same between the devices, except for one lap. One lap was off by 1/100th. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't care about that. What was also surprising was that the optimal laps were very similar as well, and Garmin has spent a lot of time deciding what an optimal lap is. In fact, they say they have a very different idea of it, but here we see they are very similar. So overall, I mean, is this worth it? I would say absolutely yes. You know, the Garmin Catalyst has some features that nothing else has, like in-car coaching.
Next left, carry your speed. Next left, apex earlier.
Showing you where you have opportunities to pick up time, and using the Dragy Lap and other lap timers, you gotta kind of dig into the data a little closer to determine yourself where you could have got more time. They both allow comparisons, but only the Garmin Catalyst allows you to compare 2 laps from 2 different sessions. I can totally see that Dragy will be able to do that sometime in the future, and I hope they take my suggestion to allow that. The Garmin Catalyst is all in one unit, that's nice, but I gotta say, you know, I'm always carrying my phone, and the Dragy GPS unit, it practically fits in your pocket. You take it anywhere with you. In fact, when someone tossed me the keys to the brand new Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing and I got to take it for a session on the track, easy, grab my Dragy, have my phone and the phone mount, set it up, and boom, I was able to record a very memorable session in that Cadillac CT4-V Blackwing. And if you want to check out that video, there'll be a link up here and down in the description. They both work on the same type of idea here, precision GPS and accelerometers, so you're gonna get very similar data. And when Dragy brings out the OBD2 connection, that's gonna be a game changer, because Garmin isn't going to be offering that. So, is there anything I want to improve about the app? I've mentioned a few things, but let me go through a couple more, and Dragy, I hope you're listening. Small interface tweaks. Obviously, it's new software. They're going to improve things. It's in beta, they said, so I would like easier to use video. Sometimes when I hit that video, it didn't record, and maybe that was my fat gloved fingers at the track. I don't know. I would like to say, you know, compare laps between sessions, and more importantly, I want to do split screen of myself and a friend like my buddy Rich and compare our laps together together. But Dragy actually says that that will happen soon, so I'm looking forward to that. Audio cues while driving. I would love it if it would at least, announce the lap time so I don't have to look over at it. I just want to hear it. Or even when the green indicator's happening, give me some encouragement.
And it's shaking big time.
Or when the red's coming up, some recorded message that says,
If you ain't first, you're last.
I don't care. Some sort of audio cue is important while driving, I think. Then when I do compare my laps, even within a session, there's no option to compare to my Optimum, which I find really helpful in the Catalyst. So I would like to see Dragy to be able to not just compare each lap, but also compare a lap against the Optimum. And lastly, it's too bad the Dragy GPS, it's so great, but it only works with Dragy. But I get it, you want to keep Dragy within the Dragy world. All right, folks, if you liked this review and you found it helpful at deciding if you want to use it as a lap timer, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell for future automotive content. Thank you so much for watching the Jet Fuel Only channel. We'll see you next time.